Finally, the Knicks received some positive updates. According to the latest reports, Precious Achiuwa has been cleared for practice. Not only that, Mitchell Robinson is traveling with the team, and Deuce McBride sounds like he's days away from rejoining this roster. We're going to break down all of these latest injury updates and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks received positive updates on a few of their injured players. To start the season, we are already missing a few players, including Landry Shamet, Precious Achiuwa, and Mitchell Robinson. And for the last few games, we were without Deuce McBride as he's been dealing with left knee inflammation. But thanks to NBA insider Steph Bondy with the New York Post, he recently gave us the following updates about the Knicks and a few of their injured players. And I'm happy to say these updates are positive. According to Bondy, Precious Achiuwa, who hasn't played since sustaining a strained hamstring in the preseason finale, is expected to be cleared for practice during the Knicks' 5-game road trip. Apart from revealing that, Tom Thibodeau also revealed that Mitchell Robinson, who also accompanied the Knicks on the road trip, started shooting on his surgically repaired ankle but hasn't been cleared to practice or run yet. Achiuwa is much closer to playing again. Thibodeau said it's a matter of how he feels after contact practice. He's moving pretty good right now. Without Achiuwa and Robinson, the Knicks have been rolling with the center rotation of Karl-Anthony Towns, Jericho Sims, and Ariel Hukporti. Miles McBride, who missed his 4th straight game because of a knee inflammation issue on Wednesday, is considered a true day-to-day, meaning he could play as early as Saturday in Utah. Shout out to Steph Bondy for giving us the following updates about the Knicks and a couple of their injured players who sound like they're going to be returning soon, including Precious Achiuwa. That, for me, is the biggest update out of all the ones we just heard about, because Achiuwa sounds like he's the closest to returning, and when he returns, I can't wait to see what Tom Thibodeau does with this lineup, because for me, one of the things I want to see, maybe to close out games, is a double big lineup of Karl-Anthony Towns and Precious Achiuwa. And unlike Mitchell Robinson, with Precious Achiuwa, he's not going to stand only inside the paint. He can move on offense. He can switch on defense. He can do a lot for this Knicks team if he's available. And it sounds like he's moving well already. The only thing we have to wait for is how he responds for after contact practice. After that, we're going to have a more definitive timeline on Achiuwa and when he's going to return to this team. But you have to be excited about what we heard just now. Achiuwa being cleared for practice was the biggest hurdle left for him. And now that that's done, it's all about contact. How he plays through contact, if there's any pain, any type of issues when he's going through it. Can he still play his game, still make the shot as he's going through that contact? If all of those things are checked off, he is going to return to this team and he's going to play significant minutes. And I hope we're able to see that double big lineup. But even if we're not, and the Knicks still want to go in with the closing lineup of Karl-Anthony Towns at the 5, I'm still interested in seeing where Achiuwa is going to fit in. Is he going to close games? Is he going to be a significant piece off the bench for us? Or has Jericho Sims done enough, especially on the defensive end and with the rebounding, to cement himself as the backup center right behind Karl-Anthony Towns? That's what we're going to have to wait and find out. But even if that is the case, it doesn't mean that Precious Achiuwa will not have a role on this team, because we're still going to need somebody off the bench when OG Anunoby needs to rest. And right there could be a perfect spot for Precious Achiuwa, because even if he's playing the 4, doesn't that mean on switches and on defense at times, he might be able to play the 5 for New York? Because I think I can see that happening as well too. And we saw last season, if he's asked to play the 5, even though he's not a traditional 5, he can play that without any issues. He was getting double-doubles for us last season when he was playing the 5. So I have no doubt in my mind he can do it without any issue. If you're Tom Thibodeau, it's good to have a player like Achiuwa there because it gives you so many different options. Whether you're playing on defense or on offense here, Achiuwa can help you in either way, not only because of his size, but because of the way he moves. And Tom Thibodeau just informed us that his movement right now is already looking good. And that's really the next step after you take contact and start practice that you want to see. The player starting to move well. If he's already doing that, he might return during this road trip. And if that happens, what a return that will be. But we also spoke about Mitchell Robinson, and Steph Bondy has another update when it comes to Robinson and where he is in terms of his recovery. Shout out to Bondy for giving us this latest information. According to head coach Tom Thibodeau, regarding Mitchell Robinson and his status, it's going to be a long progression. So obviously, he started, but he has to be patient. Go step by step. He hasn't been cleared for practice, but he's done some shooting and that sort of thing. Can do conditioning in the weight room, so he's making good progress. Just have to be patient. Robinson, who underwent a second surgery on his left ankle in May, isn't expected to return until December at the very earliest, though it's more likely after the new year. While I would love to say Mitchell Robinson's coming back soon and he might hit that return date in December, given all the reports that we've seen, it looks like that Mitchell Robinson, the earliest that he's going to return is in January. And Steph Bondy basically just confirmed that for us. It is good to hear that he's shooting. It's also good to hear that he can do some conditioning in the weight room. But other than that, it really doesn't mean anything because he has not been cleared for practice yet. No contact yet. And if you're not doing that yet, that means you're still several weeks away. And he's not even at the point where he's going to do any type of contact yet. So that means January is a very good estimate. It might not be after New Year. It could be a few weeks into January. We're going to have to wait and see how his rehab is going. But from everybody that's watched Robinson and seen how his rehab has been going over the last few months, they've given positive updates about it. So hopefully that continues into January because we need a player like him back on the bench. Can you imagine the defense of a healthy Robinson with Karl Anthony Towns, especially if Tom Thibodeau wants to use them both together at times? That would be insane. Almost unstoppable. I'm trying to think in my head, who could actually stop a lineup like that? Because I don't think many teams in the NBA could even try against that type of Knicks team. I also want to go back here and mention exactly what Bondy had to say about Deuce McBride. Once again, even though he missed his fourth straight game because of that knee inflammation, he is considered a true day-to-day, meaning he could play as early as Saturday. That is great news for the Knicks and our bench. All due respect to Cam Payne, but Cam Payne right now is the Knicks bench, at least in terms of scoring. We need more of a scoring punch off of the bench because the only thing you can say about the Knicks right now, if you really want to criticize them, besides talking about their defense, is the amount of points that our bench scores. I still believe we are last in the league in bench points. And that's really because our bench points come from one player or sometimes two players. We have to expand the rotation at times, get other players involved, and allow them to score. It's only going to help the Knicks if we do that, because if we make other players a threat, defenders are going to have to collapse on them, making it easier for everybody that they're playing with, whether that's Jalen, Cat, Mikal, OG. It's always going to help to do that. And if you develop these players even more into better players down the road, come the postseason, that's players you have on your bench that you can utilize, and you know what they can do. You know their skill set, and you know how they can help you. Getting more players on the bench that Tom Thibodeau can utilize and that he trusts is always a good thing. So Deuce McBride potentially returning this Saturday against Utah is huge news. And I hope McBride does return because I know exactly what I'm going to get. Instant offense, lockdown defense, and another player I can count on hitting the three. Deuce is about to be loose once again this Saturday in Utah. And that's going to be must-watch television because I feel like the Knicks are going to be blowing out another team come Saturday. But what about you guys? What do you think about the latest injury reports indicating that Achiuwa has been cleared for practice, Mitchell Robinson's now shooting, and McBride likely is going to return this Saturday against the Utah Jazz? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.